All right. Take this time key off. Time to do the show. Time to do the show.
Yes.
Time to read the media watch. The media watch.
Media watch.
Oh,
Okay.
I got my watch.
Okay.
So, I'm going to read the media.
Uh-huh.
This one is called Glancing Through.
Okay.
Glancing Through. It was January 1999. As a matter of fact.
Okay. And what newspaper was it in?
This was the African Times newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Publisher Charles Anyiam. I'm sure he must be delighted to hear his name mentioned so often in such a positive way. And these were my columns, and I'm reading them, and I'm reading one now, and only one today because I'm worn out from reading. I'm just tired of reading these things.
Oh, come now.
But I'm in Cafe Zola, and when you come to Cafe Zola, you feel energized.
I should.
That's the reason I was trying to bongo up rather than bongo down. Glancing Through. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968 in Memphis while he had traveled to give his aid to sanitation workers who were on strike for higher wages and better working conditions. He was 39 when he was killed. He would have been 70 years old this year. On Monday, January 18th, 1999, at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, where Dr. King and Daddy King once preached. Daddy King was his father. Archbishop Desmond Tutu spoke of the debt that the fighters against apartheid owed Dr. King and other African American civil rights leaders. It seems that a ceasefire has been brokered to end 5 months of civil war in the Congo between Namibia, Zimbabwe, Chad, Angola, Rwanda, and Uganda. Amazing how adjectives can be found to describe the worst ailments man can inflict on himself. Civil war. I wonder why it always seems that men are responsible for these civil wars. Civil war. Could you imagine anything less civil in the whole world?
No.
Yeah. Ultimately, there must be a United States of Africa. If that continent is going to survive the next century. It's quite evident with the unification of Europe via the euro currency that the Europeans will not be content to wage surrogate wars in Africa or practice economic colonialism. They will make an effort to physically superimpose themselves again. I think I may be a little wrong about this. I think it might be the Chinese this time because they're on the move in Africa, colonially, economically. Futureness. I came up with this word for futureness, as in future. Yes. The Adinkra people of West Africa have a symbol called Sankofa, of a bird in full flight with his head turned backwards, with its head turned backwards. Sankofa signifies the truth. No people can know where it is going if it cannot look backward from whence it came. This may be the classic recognition of all culture. Visionary black leadership will be of critical importance in how we chart our future course. Therefore, we need to be reminded of some of the historic leadership strengths and weaknesses in our community to be able to discern the one from the other in the future. Because of the peculiar ways in which our traditions of leadership have been fashioned, such may represent a temporary impasse to the free flow of benefits from the info revolution. Such an examination may also identify patterns and practices that are no longer affordable in the face of current requirements. At the same time, it can highlight unique strengths to which we must hold and carry forward for future progress. From colonial days to the present, that's kind of murky, and I should have rewritten it 2 or 3 more times, but I was in a hurry to turn it in.
Deadlines.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I reread it and realize, yeah, it's kind of... At the same time, it can highlight unique strengths to which we must hold and carry forward for future progress. From colonial days to the present, Black leadership has primarily been a matter of damage control or the juggling of crisis. Limited to operating with inadequate resources against superior material odds, faced with an ever-present urgency that defied long-term planning, and originally surrounded by a constituency with limited understanding, Black leaders developed peculiar leadership styles. For most, day-to-day survival was the highest common denominator. Their coping with leadership responsibilities without any management tutelage was like having to learn to read without either a dictionary or the formal rules of grammar. Trial and error mixed with innate talent and personal fortitude often led to highly subjective, if not dogmatic, management styles. Think of a whole bunch of them, from Jesse Jackson all the way back. Think about the early Sharpton.
It's come a long way.
Hey. From Black futurists in the information age, from gatekeepers to gatecrashers, looking back to move forward. Timothy L. Jenkins. We give thanks to the unknowable for making the Pan-African Film Festival an annual event. It's truly a shame that Americans would have to wait for the shortest month of the year to see African films. Ayuko Babu saw a possibility and made a dream happen. The Pan-African Film Festival happened at the Magic Johnson Theater Complex from February 4th to the 15th. For more details, call the Magic Johnson Theaters. I think they call it Rave Theaters or something.
No, yes, changed the name.
Magic got a bunch of money from some people or somebody, and
Who knows?
yeah, that's business. Pan-Africana will be given a faster boot by the events scheduled at the Los Angeles Southwest College every Thursday in February from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're talking about Black History Month here, which I choose to call African American History Month.
Please.
More boot ups. Central Avenue reflects on Black history at the Dunbar Hotel, 4207 South Central Avenue, LA. Events at the Dunbar Hotel are scheduled for February 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The events will run the gamut from reggae sounds, dub poetry, capoeira, African Brazilian martial art, Father MD of the legendary Watts Prophets to Charles Wright and Ross Michael. All coming same place at different times. The events at Los Angeles Southwest College and the Dunbar Hotel are co-sponsored by the Concerned Artists Action Group. I was a member of that group at that time. Phone 323-971-5672 for details. Don't do that now. The phones doesn't. They're not ordered for a long time. Dadisi X. Henry has written a tribute to Maya Angelou and other African American literary greats entitled Black Poets Speak of a Caged Bird Still Singing. Dadisi X. Henry and Soul Vision's frontline poets will give 2 performances of his work in February. That's on February 7th, 1999 at Midnight Books, 1318 3rd Avenue, Promenade, Santa Monica. And February 13th, 1999 at, guess where? A.C. Bill Brew Library.
Oh my, okay.
150 East El Segundo Boulevard, Los Angeles, For more info about tickets, performance schedules, and exact locations, call 213-759-6819. And the Dogon Mystery Star. The Dogon people of Mali have maintained and preserved for countless generations, like over 700 years, a body of ancient astronomical scientific knowledge that has completely baffled the modern world. Just glances.
Okay.
Just glances.
That's what was happening in January 1999.
That was 1999.
January?
A lot of things happened in 1999.
Was that January or February?
Hey. And that's where we're going to leave it.
Was it January or February?
February. Always February.
February.
Remember,
1999.
for some reason, the shortest month of the year was given over to celebrating African American history, because I think the presumption was that we had so little history, they didn't need very much time to plow through it.
Okay. I'd like to, before you run off from Cafe Zola,
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a question, if I may.
You can ask me anything you want to ask me.
Okay. I'd like to know, how do you believe your writing has changed since 1999 or since 1980 when you first were doing ghetto sketches? Do you think it has blossomed, or?
You know what? That's the kind of question that really does make me want to run out of here. I should have ran while I had a chance. It's a fair question. It's an honest question. I don't think that. I think it has maybe evolved as I become more mature. Hopefully, the writing has become more mature. I mean, I can think back to a period in time when I was coming up with something that was so tart and so uneven.
Okay.
That I could go to a hilltop on one sentence and sink down to the bottom of the next. I think it's a little bit more uniform. I'm striving for a level of ingenuity and creativity and feeling and passion and understanding that hopefully has improved over the years.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I make it a little better.
Yes.
Now I'm run out of it.
No, I can see that, because, I know when you, at your writing workshop, you have people date their name and date, so that a year or two from when they've written something, they can go back and see if they've expanded in their vocabulary or their various concepts or viewpoints.
I think you right on the money. Hard work, I think, will help you improve. Some people, I hate to say it, get lazier as they get older, and as they continue writing, they begin to rely on what they once did. I think that's a point you make. I think one of the things that's happening to me in rereading these columns is that I want to think as I read them that I'm not doing that anymore, or that I found a fresher, better way to write about it. Maturity. I have to think maturity. I'm always talking to my friend Saul in your Tai Chi group over in Friendship Park in Cerritos.
Right.
I'm always talking to him about these old dead white men that he loves. I'm talking about, well, he's an El Salvadoran, so he really can't figure out what it is I'm talking about. But I'm talking about Hegel and Schlegel and Schopenhauer. And
these are books he's read.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against Euripides or Aristotle or Plato or Socrates. They were very wise men, no doubt. But we know now that you could turn on the television and learn as much as Socrates knew in his heyday.
Okay.
So we should be able to come up with some greater feeling, a greater theory, a greater knowledge of something that they were struggling to try to understand. People didn't even understand how blood circulated through the body. They had different weird little notions about things. Maybe, rivers flowing inside your body, and I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
But going back to the writing thing, if you're like I am, which means being largely self-taught, I think writers have taught me how to write, for better or worse. And the more willing I am to give myself over to a great book, like a musician listening to, let's say Miles Davis or Dizzy Gillespie or Charlie Parker or one of these people. If you strain to come up to that level, even if you don't get up there, you've set your sights higher than just being pedestrian. Worst thing in the world, really, I believe, is to be mediocre. Right. I'm tapping away on these bongos, trying to remember rhythms that I've heard Mongo Santa Maria play, or Buyu. Different percussionists, and because I'm not playing with anybody other than you, I may be taking years to develop some little rhythm that they understood way back when, way long ago. Okay, nobody's paying me. I'm rewarding myself when I do get that really good mambo, or that Brazilian samba.
Or something that Amanda said to you now rings clear.
Amanda Parata, good. When he said, a wonderful teacher, I got a chance to have lessons with him, maybe 15 minutes a year. Maybe occasionally a whole night. I think about the night I went to see him at the Lighthouse, and he didn't have anything to do after the set. He was playing with Cal Jada. And we went and we had pie and coffee at La Coco's, and he hit little things on the side of the counter that made some stuff clear that I hadn't even considered. He was talking, for example, about not keeping your hands so close to the drums, that makes it almost a workman job, to do that. But to be a little bit flamboyant, because it gives your hands a chance to rest, and you don't wind up feeling like you've been put on a bench and put to work, In addition to that, some of the philosophical things he came out with that stick in my head all the time, Armando, what took you to the drum? What made you start playing conga? Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. I'm doing it. Somebody got to do it.
And somebody's got to write.
Somebody's got to do it. So I'm doing my part, and I appreciate you asking me the question, because you are so inquisitive in such a really novel way. You come from around the bend at me sometimes. Sometimes you blindside me. I just reel back in astonishment.
Well, as one of your students, as well as your wife, it's nice to know how to improve myself.
I'm glad you're my wife first. Rather than my student first.
And your books can be purchased.
Oh, yes.
Okay. At Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iUniverse, Author House, Archway Publishing, Book Baby. And go to your local bookstore. Say that I want a book by Odie Hawkins. Website is www.odiehawkins.com. And I will see you tomorrow at the Glendale Vintage Book Show.
Is that tomorrow?
Paper book, yes.
What time?
It's from 9 to 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right then. See you there.
I'll see you there.
Okay, and after you leave, I'll lock up Cafe Zola and call it a day. Ciao.